Yeah, let's go. All right. Lily has been spanked, which means
we're ready to go.
Ready to go. So, before we jump into this first episode, you will probably notice us wearing these outfits, and then in other clips, not these outfits. And we had some technical difficulties. It's our first time making a pod, and we're still trying to figure it out. Yep. So, when you see us in different outfits, mind your business. What up, people? Welcome to episode uno of a very cool podcast. Brought to you by Shae Baby and Christy Baby.
Christy Baby, okay.
I don't know. I don't have a cool nickname, so I'm just going to, for myself. So. I have a lot of nicknames for you, but I have zero for myself.
I know.
Do people give themselves nicknames?
No. Yeah. Something you go by.
Name one person that's given themselves a nickname.
Me.
What is it?
I used to go by Fire. And then Squirt.
Wait,
like the soda. Like the soda. This was like when I was like 5 to 7 years old. It was because of the soda.
You were so quick to catch me from saying that's what she said.
Yeah.
Because that is in fact what she said. Wow, I'm crying a little bit. I did not know the first episode was going to rock this hard. You're like, wait. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta clarify that.
Cool. So.
I'm gonna hold mine.
Okay. Okay.
Like a little mic. I like it better. All right.
Is there any other things you want to tell me that you're going to do?
No.
At this point now, we would say, hold on, I have to think about
Hit the like and stuff.
You looked scared.
Hit the like button.
I'm gonna be crying this whole episode. Okay. So, little announcement. We are building a wait list first for an online coaching membership and community where you get access to moi et toi, A-L. That's me and she in French for our French-speaking followers. And you'll get access to exercise libraries, online programs, and online community of people who are trying to lift and get strong and healthy just like us. That's kind of arrogant to say, huh?
No.
Okay.
Just like us.
Just like us. Just like us. Nutrition. All the things, really, honestly. So if you want to get on that wait list, you got to hit the link. It's in the description box. It's going to be for joining our newsletter, in which case you will get first notice when that online coaching membership is launching. So stay tuned. And then do all the other things. That's what you say.
Hit the like. Okay. Say it again. I didn't know that you were just gonna hit me with that cue.
We gotta improv sometimes.
Yeah.
All right,
no, for sure.
And then, of course, do all the other things if you like our channel.
Like, hit the like button, hit the subscribe.
You got this. You got this.
No.
It's going great.
All right.
Subscribe.
Hit that. Hit that. All right, everybody.
Oh, one person is watching. I'm crying already.
I'm trying.
All right. Of course, do all the other things.
Like, hit that like button. Hit that.
You got this.
All right, I got it.
I literally laugh crying. All right.
I have to lean forward.
It's fine.
All right. Don't forget to hit that like button.
This is why we can't slip squat.
All right.
I'm literally, I have tears in my eyes. Oh my God. gosh. Okay.
All right.
Oh, it's so emotional already. Okay. Go.
Hit that like button. Why?
Talk normal.
Just
You're like, hit that like button. Don't scribble.
because it has to be like.
Emphatic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget to.
Oh. It's my bad. Go off, sis.
All right. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Why?
Okay,
Right.
my bad.
Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit. Wait, what is there? Subscribe, like, comment, share, notification.
And the bell.
Okay. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Ring that bell for notifications.
Ding-a-ling.
Subscribe.
Let's go.
I already said that.
Twice. Subscribe twice.
Subscribe twice.
not?
Yeah.
Why
Get
not?
your friend to subscribe.
Yeah, share it with a friend.
Share it with a friend.
Boom.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. And comment down below.
Soup's important. Also, down below, we've also linked our IGs if you want to follow our IGs.
Of course you
That's
want to.
Instagram. Of course you
Yeah.
want to.
Yep.
Of course you want to.
In the description box.
Period. Okay, longest intro ever. Let's check it out. Oh shit, I just spilled coffee. It's cool.
All right, so we're going to start out with the segment that we're going to do every week. This is going to be me breaking down a pet peeve of mine. All right, so it might not be that relatable, but I'm going to say it anyways.
You never know.
Yeah, you never
You
know.
never know. We all have weird ticks.
Yeah. All right. So my first pet peeve and my only pet peeve for now.
It's your only one?
For today.
Okay.
For today.
I was like, for life?
No, I have a list. This is probably at the top, though.
Okay.
Like
Ooh.
maybe number one.
Ooh, let's
Starting
go.
off with a bang, yeah.
Ooh, let's go.
Hearing people chew. It actually boils my blood. Like, I get
Like you get
angry.
mad?
Yeah. Yeah, I get angry and I have to just, like, calm myself down, I guess. I don't know. I have to take a deep breath.
Ooh.
Yeah. But it even happens when I can hear myself chewing. No. So, yeah.
Oh shit, what do you do? What? How do you do it? Do you try to fight yourself?
I just like try and calm myself down. Like, as soon as I get mad at myself, I'm like, oh, okay, like this is out of hand. I need to relax.
I need clarity, and
Okay.
maybe the viewers do as well. Do you mean like this kind, like open mouth? Just any sound of the chew?
Yeah, it's
Because like I have
specifically-
TMJ, so sometimes my jaw clicks and you can hear me chewing, and I can't help that shit.
Well, no one can. Like, I can't even help it.
You can't.
Like,
It's
you know,
true.
that's why I get mad at myself. But like,
Sheesh.
I
So-
heard that it's like some kind of disorder or something too.
I wouldn't be surprised when it comes to you.
Yeah.
No, I think I know what you're talking about. I don't know what the disorder is, but yeah,
I don't
there's
know what it
stuff
is
like
either.
that for sure.
But I've brought it up once, and one of my friends was like, "Oh,
Do you think it maybe has to do with autism? I feel like, because I don't know a lot, I don't want to get on a tangent, but I feel like I don't understand autism, but there's like things.
there's specific tics for sure."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a really specific tic of mine that I've always struggled with.
So like, do you prefer, like, let's say you're having a dinner party or you're at a dinner party, friend or families, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like prefer, does it help rather if there's like music on,
Oh yeah.
background noise?
100%. If I sit down to
Yeah.
eat, like I turn on something
Yeah.
to watch.
I get
Yeah.
that actually now that I'm thinking about it more and more, like it is a very maddening sound. And like sometimes when I have dinner like at my mom's with like her and her husband, there's like if it starts with no music playing, like I will always get up and like go turn their Alexa on because I'm like I can't. And I think I'm the same, like even if I heard my own. Yeah, that's actually, I think that's very relatable. I think that's a
Okay.
very relatable one.
Okay,
Tell us
cool.
what you think in the comments.
Yeah,
Is
let
that
me
your
know.
pet peeve too?
Yes,
'Cause
I'm sure it is. I'm sure
I can
it is.
relate. I can relate. No, that was a really good one.
Thank you. That's like one of my top ones for sure.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
like-
you saw my reaction instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that one's very relatable.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure because
Wait, one last question. when you hear your dogs chew, does that bother you?
No, I love their
I was just
chewing.
gonna say that.
Yeah.
Like when I thought about Lily, I'm like, no, I love hearing her like enjoy a meal.
Chomp. Yeah.
It's so cute.
So
I'm so happy
cute.
she's happy and that she loves her meals and that she's feeling all nourished and
Yeah.
stuff. Like it's like you
So
love
different.
them so much that it's so different. Like
Yeah.
Lily can do no wrong.
Yeah.
I literally tell her daily that she's perfect. She's not. Nothing's perfect. But
She thinks she is.
I
though,
tell
for
her,
sure.
I think she is. Like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway, okay, cool. That was my last cue on that. So now we want to get into the main topic of this episode, which is we wanted to share our beginner tips on gym. How to start going to the gym.
What
I
to
guess
do.
how to get comfortable, right? How to
Yep.
get the confidence, because we both had stories where we kind of struggled getting started, and so we thought this would be a good way to kick off our podcast.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Do you want to like go back and forth, like my top one?
Oh yeah, we can go back and forth.
Okay. My first tip is I always yell.
You're confident. You're a bold
Yeah.
woman. It's okay.
My first tip is to go to the gym with a plan. Don't just go in there and wing it. Especially your first time in the gym, you might go in there and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to go walk on the treadmill, go hit a few machines, and then you're going to leave like, what did I just do? Like, I didn't feel like I got a good workout or a sweat or anything. And you might be deterred from going back. But
Yep.
if you go in there with a plan and you know what you're going to do, like I'm going to hit legs today, or I'm going to hit upper body today, or even a full body, anything, you'll leave the gym feeling much better. Like you got a better workout. You had a plan going in there.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think also it's very easy if you're just like, oh, I'll just go in and do what I think I can or whatever. You'll end up wasting time. You won't know like the order of how to get things done. You won't move efficiently or effectively. So you'll either run out of time or you'll turn around and realize you've been there for a really long time and maybe didn't accomplish that much. And yeah, it's going to feel like a big deterrent if it felt ultimately like it was a waste of time. So having a plan is absolutely key. I think that was actually one of mine, but I'm going to skip to one that it wasn't that. My first one, and obviously it all depends on like your financial situation, but my number one tip is hire a coach for 6 months minimum. Obviously not everyone can afford to jump in that way, and I totally understand that, and I have other options there, but if you have the finances, if you have the time to commit, I think that is the number one best way to get comfortable in the gym, to learn how your body works, to learn what kind of programming works for you. Like
Yeah.
you'll always get the best and the most out of hiring a professional, period, end of story. So that would be my
100%.
number one if you can do it.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
And I'm not just saying that because we're coaches.
A little bit. A little
But you
bit.
should pay us.
Hire us, yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely pay us.
Give
Give
us
us.
your money.
Yeah.
Just- okay.
Let's go.
My second tip is to warm up and stretch before you start working out. Like, people skip it a lot, and then they're out for months and months due to injury, and it's like warming up for 5 to 10 minutes could save you months out of the gym. So just do it.
It's
Don't
also
be lazy.
Yeah, and it's also like you need to think about it conceptually. The whole purpose of a warm up is to get blood flow moving to the areas that you're about to work.
Exactly.
Also to start to wake up the muscles. Like you have to understand that like anything physical is like a connection with your nervous system. And if you're not connecting your nervous system to what you want to do, it's not going to learn, and it's also just not going to have you prepared for doing hard things like lifting weights.
True, true.
Yeah.
It'll be very hard to progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super hard. Okay, so my next tip, and this comes back to my first tip, but this would be number 2. Most gyms, especially like the bigger ones, always offer a free training session. So if you can't afford to invest in personal one-on-one coaching, get the free training session and use it wisely. So I have tips within there as well. Don't just book the session and expect the expert to be able to like get you set up. When I first did this, I was like, okay, I know I want to grow my glutes, but I was like, so what do I need to learn? So then I went and researched, okay, I need to learn how to do a squat, probably some kind of unilateral like lunge type movements, and then get some recs from the person themselves, right? So I went in to that session being like, here are the things I want to cover, these are the things I want to learn to get comfortable with, and these are my goals. So it's 1 hour, it's one session. Get the most out of it, especially if you know that you're not going to move forward with investing in personal training, because that is like another into getting access to an expert and getting some knowledge so that you can get started.
Yeah, ask as many questions as you can.
Period.
Yeah.
I would almost say, I like that. I would almost say spend more time asking questions and less like getting the reps in and stuff, because get more of the knowledge first, the knowledge base, because then you can come back and repeat. That's what you really want to do. So
you only have 1 hour. Soak it all in.
Get wise about it.
Get wise.
Take advantage. I'm sure a lot of coaches don't like me using this one, but I'm thinking of you and your budget, right?
Yeah. All right, my third one is to not worry about the weight that you're using, but worry about your form.
Yes.
When you're very first starting, like, don't look around at everybody groaning and moaning and lifting heavy weights and think you have to be doing that.
Guy.
Anyway.
Ooh, we heard that.
No, we heard, woo, 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 woo.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Lily.
Sorry, Lily. She's like, you guys aren't even speaking it right. Your accent is terrible.
Yeah. You guys don't even know what you just said. That's so disrespectful.
So disrespectful. But no, I 100% agree with that one.
Yeah.
Like 100% do it. My third tip is most machines. I'm not a machine gal, as you know. I'm not really a machine gal, but I have used them in the past, and I do see their benefits in different times and places. That being said, most machines have instructions on them, how to use them, and also like an ample amount of different exercises that you can perform on them. So if you're feeling lost, but let's say you research and you got your plan, you know what you want to do, take the time to look at the instructions and the exercises on the machine, and it's probably going to hit some of the stuff in your workout. And that's another way that you can be coached without actually having a coach available to you in those times.
100%. That's great. That's a great one.
I'm so glad with how different all of our stuff has been.
I know.
We didn't go over this together, y'all.
No, this is the first time hearing yours. Yeah.
This is awesome.
My fourth one is don't overdo the cardio. Have a good balance between your weightlifting and your cardio. I always see like clients come to me and they're like, I do like an hour and a half of cardio, and then I lift for like 20, 30 minutes after. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Should be the opposite, really.
Yeah, 100%. Work out first. Put all of your energy into lifting, and then go do some steady state cardio, some just slow stuff like walk on the treadmill or do the Stairmaster or something for 30 minutes after, and keep it at that.
I'd even argue, and you could tell me if you agree or disagree, that it could even be 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it really doesn't have to be the most, unless you're like competing or you've got a deadline of like weight that you're trying to lose or something, right?
Yeah.
But
if you're like,
or cutting.
if you're
right?
cutting, yeah.
But otherwise, like, I think if you're just trying to maintain and keep your muscle and also stay lean, I think 10 to 15 minutes is perfect.
After your workout,
yeah.
Don't overdo it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. Great one. Okay, my fourth one kind of ties with one you already said, have a plan, but I would also say have a clear goal, because you can get a workout and be like, cool, I'm going to go do this workout. But if you don't, if you're not finding out what your actual intention is and what your number one goal or goals are with training, you won't get there even if you have a good workout at hand. So you want to make sure that you're researching and putting together a plan and a workout or series of workouts that aim at your goals. And so I don't care if that means that you're writing down workouts from influencers on social media, as long as you've been like, oh, this one's for my glute day, this one's for my upper day, da 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 da. But what are your goals? What do you want to do? And then find workouts that are going to help you get there, because that's the only way you're going to get it. You can't just walk in with like random workouts every day and just expect to hit your targets.
Yeah, 100%. That's a good one. That's a great one. All right. My last tip is to focus on your recovery. Hydrate your body, hit your protein goals, get your sleep in,
so
all
good.
of that. Yeah. Because your body's not going to actually be able to grow if you don't,
Recover.
if you don't focus on the recovery part of things. So that's huge.
I missed that one for a while, both in protein and sleep.
Yeah.
I didn't prioritize sleep for a long time. I just thought, oh, I'm not a good sleeper. Nothing I can do about it. Not true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important too.
Yeah.
Sleep equals gains. Yeah.
Okay, and my fifth and final one is I personally think you should always set yourself up for a win. Training is hard. When you get started, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to suck. That's how it goes. And you need to always be able to leave on a good note. I believe this with any type of training, any type of practice, anything, like always finish with a good note. So maybe that's as simple as like, today I'm going to really nail like perfect form in a bicep curl. And if that's all you get, that is your win that you can leave that workout with, because you are going to have a lot of days that don't go well, and you just need to make sure that you get one win out of it, no matter what it is. Maybe it's that you hit your water goal. Like, I don't know what it is. It doesn't have to be, oh, I hit a PR or anything crazy. It's just like, pick one small thing that you're going to accomplish in your training session so that you have a win to take away with, because those wins are what keep you motivated and inspired to keep coming back.
100%. Yeah.
Dang, we did good having different ones.
I know.
Let's go.
We only had like one similar one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Just
that's
one.
really good.
Just one. Yeah.
That's like 10 tips for you guys.
Period.
Yeah.
See what we do for you?
Take them
Do you
and
see
use them.
what we do for you?
Give us your money.
Let's go. Scary story time.
This one was bad.
Oh, it's so dark, dude. Okay.
This one was bad.
All right. So, one thing that Shae and I discovered pretty quickly in our dynamic is we both love true crime. I think a lot of girls do. Mm-hmm. We're crazy. Why do we like it? We just love it. We love it.
Yeah.
I love hearing about murder. It's terrible. So... it's like, what's wrong with us?
Yeah.
So this is going to be our true crime segment, which we'll be doing each week. We're going to just do a brief synopsis. We are not true crime channel shorties. Mm-hmm. That's not the purpose of this channel, but because it's something we're both fans of, we figured some of you out there might be as well. So we'll do quick breakdowns, and like we will share a little bit of our thoughts about the episode, and I think we'll also link the episode in the description box, because we follow an amazing account who goes into great detail in these cases, but we want to just share ones that we watch every week. And again, you can always check out the link in the description box to the actual video if you're interested in getting the full deets of the story. So today's case is about a serial predator, sexual predator. I'm gonna warn you, it's dark. So if you're not into this dark kind of stuff, you might want to just skip this little segment.
100%.
Because
this is dark.
This one's extra dark.
Yeah.
So this one takes place in Idaho in a town called Coeur d'Alene. The woman, it's about a mother and father, and they had 5 kids. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5 kids. And unfortunately, they were all slain by this serial sexual predator. So the mother's name is Brenda Matthews. I'll probably just refer to it as like the Matthews family or household. There obviously was a father involved, but they separated. And then Brenda, the mom, ended up dating another man named Mark. And so she's with Mark during the time that this story takes place. The 5 kids, their names are Jesse, Dylan, Slade, Vance, and Shasta. And Shasta and Dylan were the youngest of the children. And Slade was the oldest at the time in the story. I think he was like 13. Yeah. So about the Matthews family, they kind like Coeur d'Alene was like a small town. They lived kind of like out in the country. Didn't have a lot to like worry about. It was just like chill. They had good friends and family. They had an open door policy in their house, so like friends or family that were ever in need could come and stay with them, which kind of meant that like they kind of had this revolving door of always having guests and friends staying over and staying with them. And as a result of just being out in the country, they also always left their doors unlocked because it was just safe and they didn't have to worry about anything like that. So they were having a summer barbecue. with a bunch of friends, had them over, and that night they went to bed, and around 2 in the morning, Brenda, the mother, she had, for whatever reason, fallen asleep on the couch. And at 2 a.m., she gets woken up by a sound. She hears the dogs barking and then whimpering in the hallway. So she can't really like see good. It's dark. And so she turns on the lamp on the nightstand or the end table next to her. And she thinks she sees like a figure, like in the hallway, a man or something. And she's not sure who it is. She can't tell. The light's kind of like blinding her vision of who it is. And she just kind of figures maybe it's like a friend or something like that. And then for some reason, she's not worried beyond that. So she just turns the light back off, thinking she's going to go back to sleep. And as soon as her head hits the pillow again, dude has run up on her and he's like, turn the light on, and he's got a gun pointed at her. So he starts asking her where her husband is, and she's kind of confused because she's not married to Mark's. And then she realized that that's who he's talking about. So he makes her go upstairs because she said he was sleeping up there. So she runs upstairs to get him, and she's trying to shake Mark awake, being like, dude, there's some guy in the house. But then homie catches up, and he throws a bag of, what are those called, zip ties? Yeah, zip ties at her, and he's like, bind his ankles and his wrists. So she does that, and then he makes them all go back downstairs, which is a little bit silly because, like, how's a man supposed to walk with his ankles tied? But okay. So they go downstairs. He makes him lay on the stomach. Then he makes Brenda, the mother, go get the teen, brings him out to the living room, same thing, do the zip ties. Then he makes her go get the rest of the children, the other 4 smaller children. He ends up binding everyone else and duct taping their mouth. And the 2 youngest that I mentioned, Dylan and Shasta, he carries outside and lays them out in the grass in the yard. And then he grabs the oldest son. So I think that was Slade, like I said, and he's 13. He takes him outside, out back, and uses a hammer and like just starts hitting him in the head. And then when he was sure he was dead, he goes back in and basically does that to the rest of the family. He went back outside and put the 2 youngest kids in the car. He was stealing Mark's car. It was a Jeep. The whole story really revolves around Joseph. So we find out this is the murderer, Joseph. I don't know his last name. I forgot. I didn't write it down. But Joseph had a really long history being a predator, and it really starts from his own childhood. So I'm going to share some of that as well. And then it all kind of circles back to the night at the barbecue at the Matthews house. When Joseph was really young, he at some point was like starting to get in some kind of trouble, and his mom thought that he should like see a doctor or like a specialist. So when he was getting an exam, and I forget how old he was at the time, but he was getting an exam by a doctor, and the doctor asked his mom to leave the room for the examination. And during that examination, he sexually violated Joseph, and he was just like a young boy. And even though it was a sexual assault on him, Joseph also recognized that it was the first time that he like felt sexual pleasure. He also kept a blog once he got older, and it was pretty disturbing because this blog, he was like talking about all of his like sexual fantasies. He talked about like things that he did, and even talked about this examination in his childhood. So a lot of the stuff that I'm going to share moving forward literally came from his blog. They're not direct quotes, but it's like direct stories that he shared. After that whole incident with the doctor, he often described being really confused about sex and bodies and how they worked. And he didn't really know where to learn about it. He didn't feel like he could ask his parents or any other like adults or, you know, mentor type figures. And he spoke of having like a weird and inappropriate encounter with a dog and then his own younger sister. But he, as he wrote about these in the blog, he kept talking about how he felt that these things were normal, quote unquote, and just a normal part of being a kid and growing up and exploring their sexuality. So he didn't really understand that that it was kind of strange or even like wrong. And as he got older in his teens with a friend, he started getting into like petty theft, I guess. He would like him and his friend would steal people's cars and then return them. They would break into people's houses and just steal like change and little trinkets and stuff, and they just like really liked the thrill of it. And again, he also thought that this was no big deal, like breaking into people's houses. He just thought it was like, oh, it's what kids do
To have fun, yeah.
right? Of course, because of this kind of behavior, he was now considered like a troubled teen, and he got sent off to a boys' ranch for troubled teens. And he actually really liked it there. He made a lot of friends, and after some time being there and demonstrating good behavior, the boys were able to get actual jobs. And I think they were about like 13, if I'm remembering correctly, around this time. So he gets a job, and he gets sexually assaulted by his boss there. And he enjoys being at the ranch so much that he doesn't want to talk about the incident because he's afraid he's going to get sent home from the ranch. So he doesn't say anything. But what happens is the boss was constantly talking to him about things that he wanted to do to him or things that he could try sexually. And so that opened up Joseph's curiosity. He wanted to explore those curiosities. So he actually lured like a 9-year-old boy into some bushes, and he had like a pocket knife, and he tried to threaten the boy with a knife, and it scared him, and he like ran away, of course. And again, he didn't think that this was a big deal, and he did write about this in his blog as well. So then he actually ends up going home from the ranch after, finishing the program or whatever. And once he returned home, he consistently played hooky from school. And one of these times that he was playing hooky, he came across a group of like, I think 3 or 4 boys that were playing with an axe. And he was like, oh, can I see the axe? And they're like, sure. And then he threatens them with the axe and makes them basically like do sex acts on each other while he watches and like touches himself. So super scary and creepy. And again, he just claims that it was curiosity, that it wasn't painful or cruel to anyone involved, completely ignoring the fact that both times now he's like threatened people with like weapons and probably death or pain. So of course his behavior keeps escalating, and when he was 16 years old, he steals a handgun and some ammunition, and he takes the gun out to try to lure another boy, and he ends up luring another young boy out into the woods, threatening him with the gun, of course. And this boy, I think, was also 9 years old. He forces him into the woods, does inappropriate things. I'm not going to get into more of the details because it just gets really sick. And obviously you can go watch the episode. But does inappropriate things. And after the whole incident, he thinks he got away with it. He was a little bit paranoid, so he like threw the gun somewhere on his way home. But he gets home and he's like, everything's good. And then, of course, the little boy told, and he got arrested at 16 years old. He ended up getting found guilty and charged for kidnapping and sexual assault and something else. And the judge ended up trying him as an adult because of the nature of his crime. And he ends up his dad gets him a lawyer, and they work out a plea deal because I think he was sentenced to like 20 years for that. And part of the plea deal was he needed to plead guilty, and then he could go to a nearby mental hospital that had a treatment program for sexual psychopaths, which just sounds very scary.
Sounds very scary, yeah.
Very scary. So mind you, we have to remember he's 16 years old, tried as an adult, so this is an adult program. So he goes to this program, and he's literally surrounded by grown adult men who are classified sexual offenders. And the whole point of the treatment program was to take accountability for the things that you've done, take accountability for like who you are and your tendencies, and then try to heal that. But part of the process of this whole accountability thing was they would share their stories. So he's 16 years old hearing the most like intense stories and fantasies of these grown men, which like you can only imagine. But on top of it, because he's so young and only had those 2 instances, they actually like don't believe him, that like they think that he's done more than he's done, which is also kind of weird and sick. So he feels so much pressure to have like bigger and more embellished stories of like sexual predator acts or sexual psychopath acts, I guess, that he starts making things up. And all the while, he, unbeknownst to him, they are recording this and keeping a record of all these like apparent crimes that he's committed around sex acts. By the time he's like 17, it seems like he has this huge record of just like sexual offenses and all this stuff because of all the stuff he made up. And he basically is now looked at even more of a criminal, and he's just like, okay, I'm sick of this program. I think I would rather just go to prison and serve time because I think it's going to be better than this. Because he's now feeling like the system is turning on him, which I guess it technically kind of was. Because he was kind of tricked into like and pressured into making stuff up. So he intentionally acts like he wanted to escape the treatment program, which he knew was going to get him sent to prison, and it worked. So he goes to prison, and the first few years he's in prison, he actually gets sexually assaulted many times. After a few years, a new law is passed that changes the guidelines of like the amount of time that he has to serve. I don't know if it was specific to like sexual crimes or what, but it was just like a new law that was passed. And as a result of it, because it reduced the serving time, he basically had like quote unquote overserved. So he went to a parole hearing to see if he could become eligible to be released on parole. He was accepted for that, but he had to do some kind of like outro program in order to be released on parole. And it like for some reason it was going to take like 2 years before he was even going to get accepted, and that really upset him because again he felt like, oh, this is another way the system is just trying to keep me in prison and not like let me out of parole or out on parole. But during that time he kept getting treated by another doctor, and he shared with the doctor that he was starting to present himself as a queen, which is like a term they use in prison for basically a man that is going to present himself like he's a woman because it makes, you know, technically straight men in prison feel more comfortable to like have sex with them. He also explains that this fantasy of presenting himself as a woman to other men was helping him cope with his attraction and desires towards children. So he kind of thought it was like a good thing, and so did the doctor. And then the doctor basically was like, oh, like you should explore your sexuality and you're probably transgender and you should just be transgender. So he does change his name for a short period and presents himself as a woman. And that's just like it's kind of a weird little tangent because he ends up going back to Joseph and being a straight man or whatever. But it does kind of, I think, explore or like show that he was very confused with sexuality. And 100%. That it was very unstable in his like mindset. As a result as well, this whole transgender dynamic, the judge learned about this because the doctor felt like it was going to help his case. She was like, oh yeah, he's transgender now. It's helped him not like be attracted to children. So I don't think he's going to be a risk to society anymore. And when the judge heard all of that, he was like, his like mindset around sex and everything, like I just said, is so unstable that I'm going to revoke his opportunity for parole. And this sent Joseph off the edge. He was like,
he already wasn't.
F society, F the system. It's not even trying to help me heal. It's not helping me get better. And this is almost a direct quote from his blog. He said that because society and the system wasn't allowing him to heal, that as a result, he would no longer focus on getting better, but he was going to focus on getting even. And he also said something, he started getting really paranoid and like having hallucinations and started to identify with different personalities. Like he didn't say, what's it called? Multiple personality disorder. Yeah. He didn't actually say that that's what he had, but he had different personalities with different names and said they represented different parts of himself. But ultimately he was like, I'm going to take all my hatred for the system and unleash it on society once I'm free. So he got released in 1996. And I don't know how old he was. I forgot to remark that, but he was definitely in prison for some years. Yeah. So he's probably in his 20s, like mid-20s probably-ish. So he gets out, And he decides he's going to start enacting this release of hatred to the system on society. And he sees these two little girls. He's in Seattle at this point. He sees these two little girls. They're like 9 and 11 years old near this gas station. And he tricks them into believing that he's the owner of the gas station. And he told them they were trespassing. So he convinces them to get in his car and tells them that he's going to take them back to their mom, who was like shopping in a store nearby. But instead, he takes them out to the woods, sexually assaults them, takes photos, and then he bludgeons them to death with a crowbar, and then buries their bodies, which weren't found for like a year after. He was really good at changing his appearance and always changing cars so that he couldn't be tracked. His next victim was, I think, a year later. It was a 10-year-old boy, and he sees the boy with some friends, and he's like, hey, can you guys help me find my cat? I'll pay you each $1 if you help me find him. So they start looking for the cat. It's not a real cat, obviously, so they don't find anything. And he's like, oh, I'll pay you guys anyway. Just come over to my car, and I'll pay you. So they get close to the car, and I think he had a weapon, a knife.
It's a knife, yeah.
As the boys come close, one of them just starts to get a weird feeling and kind of pushes the younger ones out of the way and comes up front, and he grabs the boy nearest, which was this oldest one who'd pushed himself to the front, pulls him into the car and takes off. Same exact thing. Takes him out to some secluded woods area, sexually assaults him, takes pictures, and then he kills him by like chucking huge rocks at like his body and his head. I don't think he buried that one, but it was like out in some canyon, so he just like left him there. He again changed his appearance and the vehicle, so it almost made it impossible to find him. Actually ends up going back to prison and serving 3 years time for violating his parole. Surprise, surprise. And after he got out this time, he kind of, for a very brief stint, lived a pretty normalish life. He, dated men and women and like found a good job and was just like chilling for a bit. But then in 2004, he takes advantage of 2 boys in a park, and here he's in Minnesota. And he ends up getting arrested, and a friend pays his bail, and he gets released on bail, and he knows he's going to go back to prison. So he's like, this is my last shot to like really unleash all the hatred I have, to unleash like a master plan of getting back at society and not getting to heal and da 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 da. So he doesn't have an exact plan, but he takes off right away, and he goes and he buys a hammer, a sawed-off shotgun, bunch of camping gear, and some shoes that were like too big so that if they found footprints, like they wouldn't be able to match his shoe size. Was that everything?
Yep.
Yeah. This brings us to Idaho in Coeur d'Alene, where the Matthews family lives that I told you about at the beginning. So he ends up driving through Coeur d'Alene, and he's like going through the neighborhood, and he sees Brenda and one of the children, I think it was Shasta, and they were just like sunbathing in their bathing suits like in the front yard, and he's like, this the one, which is really sad and scary. So he stalks the house for like a day or two, just taking note, like who lives there, is there a man in the house, like what are their comings and goings. And then creepily enough, like the night of the murder where I told you guys about that summer barbecue with all the friends and family, he was watching the house like that night as well. And by then he had already determined that there was a mother and father, and there was 5 children. And so he knew that that was going to be the house he was going to commit the crime and do this whatever plan. He had a moment with God where he was like, give me a sign if I should or should not enact this crime. And he was like, the sign will be if the door to their house is locked, then I'm not supposed to follow through. But we already know that the Matthews family had their revolving door policy, and they never locked their doors. So that brings us back to the night, 2 a.m., walks up to the door, it's unlocked, and he walks in. The dogs were in the hallway. They actually initially barked, but then he pulled out his gun on them, and they must have like known what guns were or whatever, because that's when they whimpered, and that's what Brenda heard initially when she first got woken up at 2 a.m. We know pretty much the story from there, right? They go upstairs, everybody gets zip tied, da 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 da. Joseph ended up taking Dylan and Shasta, as we know. He ends up taking them to 3 different remote campgrounds, and he tortures them, sexually assaults them, films a lot of it, like just sick. And for whatever reason, he had a lot more hatred and aggressiveness towards the little boy, Dylan. And eventually, at the third campground, he takes Dylan into another room, and Shasta describes it later that she could hear him hurting her brother, and then eventually she hears 2 gunshots. And Joseph tells her that he accidentally shot him and then had to do the other shot to put him out of his misery. They spent like 7 weeks at the last location with Joseph, which is just terrifying to think of. And after he kills Dylan, he turns to Shasta and he's like, how do you want to die? I can either strangle you or I can shoot you like I shot your brother. And something in her being told her, say strangle, because she figured that if she was super smart, if she figured if he strangled her, she would have a chance to try to convince him to stop, as opposed to like if he just shot her really quickly. So sure enough, he wraps something around her neck and he starts to strangle her, and she's like, please stop. And she actually calls him by Jet, which was the transgender name he took. And I don't know if that's exactly what triggered him, but he ended up stopping, breaking down, crying. And then it gets weird because he's like, oh, you taught me how to love and this and that and the next. And when all that happens, Shasta is like I said, super smart. I don't know how old she was.
She was young.
Like 6?
I thought she was like 9.
9? Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. Very young.
Still, like, so young and smart, yeah.
And so she realized that she now had Joseph in the palm of her hand and that she could manipulate him. So she started, she went as far as to being like, oh, I could be your daughter and, like, we can travel around. And she's like, I would love to show you all the places that were my favorite places when I was a child. And by then, he's, like, wrapped around her finger. And that's how she convinces him to take her back to Coeur d'Alene. And in Coeur d'Alene, of course, she was like a missing little girl, posters of her everywhere. He walks in with her to a Denny's, and both the waitress and some patrons recognize her from the posters. So they keep it cool, and they call in tips to the cops, even though they're not 100%, but they're fairly sure that this is the girl that's missing. And the cops tell the waitress to distract them and try to like keep them there as long as possible so they can get there. And the whole thing works. The cops show up. Joseph knows that he's caught. And so he ends up getting arrested. The little girl gets rescued and reunited with her father. But then they're like, okay, where is Dylan? Like, still they don't know Dylan because they have not interviewed Shasta yet, even though I already told you guys what happened to Dylan, sadly. Joseph pleaded guilty to the kidnapping crimes of the 2 children, and he got 3 life sentences for that. I don't know, was it kidnapping and assault? It wasn't the murder.
Yeah, it was kidnapping and assault,
yeah.
I think.
So he got 3 lifetime sentences, and then he ended up being tried for and charged for the other 3 children that he assaulted and murdered as well, and he received another life sentence, but they wanted to go for the death sentence, and they wanted to use Dylan's murder case to pursue that, and they did end up winning the death sentence for him as well. But he ended up dying in 2021 of stage 4 brain cancer while he was on death row. The Matthews home was demolished, which was a very healing thing for Coeur d'Alene, for the town. Shasta ended up, of course, growing up, and she has her own family, even though she's had her ups and downs with, the trauma from that experience. And the last thing they said is that she hopes to one day release a book about her trials.
That would be a crazy book.
Crazy book.
Because she's going to talk about those 7 weeks where she was alone with him.
Yeah.
She basically saved her own life. Like,
so crazy.
By manipulating him. But, yeah, it was such a terrible story.
And she tried with her brother, too. Like, she would try to, like, keep him strong mentally.
And to be that young, going through all of that.
I know.
And just, like,
horrible.
Yeah.
And it's, like, for no reason, just because this man was sick.
Right.
Like,
right. They were just a random family to him.
Yeah. There was no reason other than that. He just wanted to be a sicko, and like that's actually what he wanted. He wanted to be like the sickest criminal.
The sickest sicko.
Sickest sicko. That's what it was. Yeah. Ugh.
Pure evil.
Stage 4 cancer, yeah.
They freaking
brain cancer, yeah.
paid for him to get the tumor removed.
I know. Like, and it was like expensive apparently.
What?
Like, why do we care, bro?
Let him go.
Also, bro he didn't care.
Right.
Because he didn't want the, what's it?
The chemo.
The chemo, yeah. He
Yeah.
didn't want chemo and he was on death row. So, like, why are we putting out money for him to get surgery?
Literally.
Let him die.
Literally.
He
Let
needed
him
to die.
go.
Sorry.
Like, put him down. Be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think one of the saddest parts is just how many times he was able to do it over and over throughout his history. Like, he got put in jail and then he got out and then he got put back and he got out, and then like he just was able to create so many crimes before they finally sentenced him to death row.
Yeah.
Like, he killed multiple people and assaulted
children,
multiple children
little
before
children.
it got to where it got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just horrible. Horrible.
Horrible.
So yeah, why do we watch these things?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Gosh.
But it's good to be aware and to also keep these stories alive and these people alive that did die in horrible ways like that. Yeah. Just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cried on that one because
did?
it was just so sad. Like, it's all kids.
I know.
Like,
It's
like, it wouldn't be better if it was adults or anything.
course not, no.
But, like, yeah, it's just children just doing horrific things to children it's unimaginable.
it is unimaginable. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't think we
I'm
ever will.
lucky. I'm not lucky. Like, I don't know what I am, but I'm happy to not be able to understand it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
So,
Moving on to a much lighter topic.
we got a fun segment next, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so as promised, we're going to finish with a fun, funny, lighthearted segment because our true crime stories are very dark at times. Well, all the time. Anyway, This is a game that we're going to call Does Shae Know What This Is? And if you don't know already, Shae and I have a big age gap. So she is, how much younger than me are you? 20?
I'm 22.
She's 22, almost 23.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be 40 this year. So we've got, I'm still 39, but I'm going to be 40. So what is that, 26 years? No.
28. No. 28.
You know I'm not good at math.
You made me say that.
I can't believe you. I didn't make you say anything. You just went
18.
along with
I
my
think
math.
18.
You know better than to go along with my math.
I do.
Okay, 18-year difference. So
Dang.
we thought this game would be really fun to try to pick things from like our generation and see if the other one knows what it is or not. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. Okay, so does Shae know what this is? My first one is a question. Do you know why we say to hang up the phone? Like the phrase like, oh, she hung up on me, or I'm gonna hang up, or I hung up on the call. Like, do you know why we use that phrase?
Like, what do you mean?
Like when you're holding your iPhone, you say, oh, I'm going to hang up now. Do you know why we use the words hang up?
Because we're ending the call.
This went perfectly.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy because I was afraid you were going to know this one. So the reason is because like OG phones were, I think this is what it's called. They like, you had to dial the numbers via a rotary plate. So there would be like a round faceplate and then holes cut out in it with the number underneath it. And you would have to drag it around. So like if I was dialing a 1, I had to put my finger in that hole and drag it all the way around. And then any number, so 9 was all the way over here. Now the reason the faceplate is important is because you wanted it at eye level so you could see it to dial. Like you wouldn't want it like on a desk or something like that. So older phones were wall mounted, and then on top of that there was a receiver and then the phone that you actually spoke into, and it was attached to the base by like a spiral cord. So you would have to unhook the phone off the thing, listen for the dial tone, dial the numbers on the rotary, have your conversation, and then you literally had to hang the phone back up to end the call.
I'm pretty sure I've seen those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't that funny?
That is so
because you probably didn't really grow up with that.
No.
Maybe you had the one like the cordless ones. at best, right?
Yeah,
So,
like a house phone. Or
yeah,
something, yeah.
but that wasn't the same as hanging up because you just like set it in the dock.
No, yeah.
Isn't that funny?
That is really funny.
I was super happy that one didn't work, or that it worked out that way. Okay, next I'm going to show you an image, and we'll put it up on the screen so you can see what I'm showing Shae. Do you know what this is?
Video game? Envelope? What is that?
Oh, this game is so fun. It's a floppy disk.
Oh, what?
You never heard of a floppy disk?
No.
Okay, so a floppy disk is what you used to store things on. Like at my backup drive that you see now, where I can like drag files onto it, you saved stuff on floppy disks. But they couldn't hold, like they had different sizes, but it wasn't as much as like a backup drive or like your thumb drive. Like that's what these used to be. So you would just have like a shit ton of floppy disks, and then you'd have to put them in the computer. Shoot, I don't even know what that's called. What's the little master thing that you like where the power button is on?
Like eject?
No, like on desktop computers, there's like the monitor, and then there's the thingy.
Oh, I don't know what it's called.
Mode? I don't fucking know. Anyway, you guys, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Okay, we don't need to go there. But you had to put the floppy disk in there to get it, to get like whatever storage
Was on
stuff
there?
you had on there. Oh, I love it so much. This is
Floppy
so
disk?
fun. Yeah, they were called flop because they were
Never heard of
they
that.
were like magnetic, and they literally like they had a plastic casing, but they literally were like malleable, like floppy. So they're called floppy disks.
That's funny.
I know.
No, I don't know what that
Oh,
is.
it's so fun. Okay, this is so fun.
Video game.
I know. Oh my gosh, the sound I made when you said that. I can't even replicate that sound, but that was so perfect. Okay, the next I'm going to read to you is a tweet and
Okay.
see if you know what it's about.
Okay.
The tweet reads, "On this day 15 years ago, my mom picked up the phone and interrupted a file at 96%. I'd been downloading from Napster for 17 hours."
What?
Do you know what Napster is?
No. What is it?
Napster.
Is that like a MySpace, Facebook thing?
No, it's not a social media platform.
No, I don't know what that tweet
Oh,
said.
you've never heard of Napster. Okay. Do you know what dial-up connection is? Like for the internet? Dial-up?
Like Wi-Fi?
No.
Dial up. Like dial digits on your phone?
Yeah, exactly. No. Okay, I'm probably not going to explain this very well just because, like, you know I'm not the most technologically sound person, but OG internet was on a dial-up connection, meaning that it actually you had to have a landline house phone line to access the internet. So, yeah.
That makes me laugh. Like,
I know.
I
So
don't know.
a lot of the times, like if families were like if families had money, they might invest in a second landline that was specific for the internet. But most households, you just had to use your main landline phone. I don't even know. Did you grow up with a landline phone?
just a house phone.
Yeah, but it's like connected to the house. So a landline, like it's built into the house, and then it has a number
Oh,
attached
no, I
to
didn't
it.
have that.
Yeah, okay. So I'm like aging myself so mad. I mean, you already know I'm almost 40, so I'm not ashamed. But yeah, so anyway, so the original internet connection had to connect to your phone, your house landline phone, and if somebody picked up the phone, it cut off the internet connection.
Oh.
Awful.
Awful. Yeah,
So-
that's terrible.
So Napster was
Wow.
an illegal music downloading website, and it would take hours to like download music, but it was all free because it was illegal.
Oh.
And so you would like set it to like download stuff, and it would take like, that's why they said 17 hours. You'd be like trying to download like your favorite fucking song, the MP3, but if the phone got picked up, it cut the internet connection, and you could have been almost done downloading like your favorite
my
music, and it would be cut
gosh.
off.
Did that happen to you?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
So many
gosh.
times.
That would be so annoying.
So many times.
That'd be so annoying.
And Napster was like before, what was that first one? Pandora, before Spotify, before we actually had free access to music.
Oh.
So it was like in between when you, oh God, I'm going to age myself again. Never mind, I'm not going to say it.
No, say it.
I was gonna say it was in between when you tried to like record songs onto a tape cassette from the radio. That was a thing. You don't even know.
No.
You don't even know. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy with how this is turning out.
I wonder if you're going to know mine better.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you know me too. I'm like somewhat savvy and also not. Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. I got another one for you. Another image. Do you know what this is?
Is it a screen projector?
Yeah! I did not
We use
expect
those.
You did?
They didn't look like that.
Come on.
But they were like a little newer.
Dang. Okay, cool. That was actually the one I absolutely thought you weren't going to get.
Oh, wow.
Because it looks crazy.
It does. It looks a lot different than
you
the
see,
one
this
I've
would
seen.
light up on the bottom, and then they would put these like sheets that had like writing on them, but they were see-through. So then when the light hit through it, the font was black, and then it would put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
That is so funny.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny you knew what that was. Oh, I think I do have another one. Okay, I've got another image. Do you know what this is?
A camera?
Yes, but what kind? Like it's specific. No, I'm not talking about a model, but there's something different about it, right?
Yeah. There's definitely something different about it. Looks like a cardboard box.
Good. It literally is.
Is it a digital camera?
No.
I don't know. I just see it looks like a camera, like a cardboard box camera.
It is. It literally is. So it was. It came out in the I think mid to late 80s. I forget the exact year. Maybe earlier. Anyway, it's a disposable camera.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Do you know what those were?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can take the pictures, and then you have to go take it to
Walgreens.
Yeah,
right?
and get the film developed.
Yeah.
But this was the original first one that came out by Fuji Color.
Yeah, it's like the OG.
Oh, that's so funny seeing your face. That was so perfect. I'm glad you knew that one. I wasn't sure. I was like, she might know what this is, but yeah,
I got
pretty
a
funny.
few. I got
you
two.
got the last two, which is good.
go.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Yes.
Does Shae know what this is? That was a fun game. So we'll be playing that every week, but we're going to switch off. So next episode, Shae's actually going to have things for me to see if I know what they are. So stay tuned. What else do we have?
I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Is it outro?
And then the outro.
Let's go.
Let's go. Episode 1 out.
Oh. All right. So that kind of brings us to our new program that we're going to start on Monday,
January 8th,
Thank you.
2024.
2024. Yes. It's a power building program. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically powerlifting and bodybuilding combined. And if you don't know what those two things are,
Ooh. Licks.
you can't
Licks
see
on them.
in my sweatshirt. It looks so stupid. So bodybuilding is basically for aesthetics and hypertrophy mainly. So it's more in the 8 to 12 rep range usually. And powerlifting is for strength, muscular strength. And so it's more in the 1 to 6 rep range usually. And so we're combining those two styles of training. And we're going to be doing that about 5 days a week, 2 lower body days, 2
Upper
body. You made me forget about
Oh, I just sat here.
You
I'm just
chilling. 2. So it'll basically.
Just say 2 upper days and 1 mobility day.
I feel like I have to restart.
Okay, restart.
It'll be 5 days per week, 2 lower body days, 2 upper body days, plus 1 mobility day.
Nailed it.
Let's go.
For 12 weeks.
For 12 weeks long, yeah.
Period.
Period. So that's the new program we're going to be doing.
What are your goals for our new program?
To get strong.
As fuck.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the main goal is to just get stronger. But mainly in my squat. I want to focus on my squat and my pull-ups. I want to be
Nice.
able to get like 8 pull-ups by the end.
Because what are you at right now?
I've gotten 5 before.
Yeah.
But that's like my PR.
We locked in towards the end.
Yeah, we
locked in
did.
towards the end.
We did. Until you started adding like 6 sets of pull-ups.
You like it.
Wow.
I am the one that's always like, let's do one more round of pull-ups.
Oh my god.
Or I try to randomly make her do a pull-up all the time. I did today.
Yeah, and I was like, no.
She's like, just stop. My goals, I'm really excited about this program because the combination of getting really strong and also hypertrophy is like right up my alley. That's why I got really excited
I
about.
cannot say that word.
What did you said hypertrophy.
Yeah, I literally have to separate it.
I literally didn't say anything. I was like, I'm just gonna let her have
I
that.
looked it up on YouTube like 10 times how to say it before.
Like
this.
videos
Yeah.
about how to say
About how to say it and how to put it in a sentence.
And you-
Just like, I know what the word means and stuff, but I can't pronounce.
You can't even say pronounce.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it
Wow.
correctly.
Okay. Well,
Hypertrophy.
that was better.
It was the same.
I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Try again.
Hypertrophy.
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 Yeah!
See, and I could do it after I watch the video, but then as soon as I get on my own, it's like fucking right out.
Like?
Yeah, I forgot already. Hypertrophy.
Oh my
Hypertrophy.
god. There you go.
I got
Nailed it.
I just gotta like remember that it's not trophy.
Yeah, it's tra.
Trophy.
It doesn't make sense, but that's
Hypertrophy.
what hypertrophy.
Hypertrophy.
You don't say hyper either. It's hypertrophy. It
Yeah, I
just
know.
kind of like runs.
Yeah.
The word just kind of smushes together.
It does. That's a weird word.
I get why you want to say hypertrophy because that's literally how it's spelled.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I think I definitely want to work on my squat and my pull-ups as well. I think in terms of like I want to put more muscle on overall, but I think my 2 biggest goals there is I would like to have quad and glute growth, and my triceps are completely imbalanced. My left one is like super defined and popping, and my right one, it's like a pancake back there. It's so much weaker. It's crazy. It's noticeably weaker and smaller. So I'd like to create some more balance there.
That's
this
a really good
program.
goal. Yeah, that's a great goal.
Yeah.
I want to add size to my glutes and more definition.
You're already double caked up.
More definition.
Okay.
And
See, I've got
Bigger
the
back.
definition. I just don't have the size.
The cake.
I need the cake.
And I need
want
the
shelf.
shape.
I need the shelf. And then what was the other one? You want a big back?
big back. Big back
I
and
actually
big
do
booty.
too. Yeah, I want my back to like get more defined as
Yeah.
well, for sure. So
Yep.
we're gonna be pushing. We're excited.
We're really excited.
Scared,
Yeah.
small kind scared, but
Yeah.
also very excited.
Yep.
And I think that's a wrap
That's a wrap,
for
y'all.
this episode. Thank you for staying because this was a long one. We just wanted you to get to know us.
Unless
and-
you like this link, just let us
yeah,
know.
Let us know in the
comments.
Comments. What did I say?
Comments.
It's short. That seems cute.
Yeah, it's just a.
It's not what you thought it was.
It was just an
Don't be
abbreviation.
weird.
Yeah.
Don't make it weird.
Yeah.
Guys.
Weirdos.
Make it weird. Anyway, again, reminder if you want to get on the wait list for our online coaching community and membership, there's a link in the bio to get on our newsletter, which again is going to give you the first notice when that membership launches. And follow us on all the things: Instagrams, TikToks, this channel.
Yep.
Like it.
Subscribe.
to it.
Comment to it.
Backhand that bell.
Yep. Freaking
else?
turn it on and share it with somebody.
Yeah.
Get us popping quick.
Yeah. You like us. You stayed this long. Weirdo.
Come on. Come on now.
Weirdo. Thank you for joining the first episode of A Very Cool Podcast. Shae Baby. Christy Baby. We gotta find me a nickname. Bye.
Peace. The end.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
Bye. Oh, sorry, Lil. My bad. She's like, please be quiet. It is sleeping hours.
Yeah. She's like, don't you see me chilling?
Chilling.
We're done. Cute. Okay, now outro. Now say bye.
Bye. Aren't you gonna say the end?
Oh, yeah.
This is why we have so many takes. She says, "Why do you always laugh at me?"
Okay.
Bye.
The end.